on, guys? Hey, what's happening today, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you would like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that. This is the first video I've done that wasn't on my phone for a while now. I just wanted to do some research today, so hopefully, I can teach you guys how to do some of this stuff. I'm going to come up with a full course free. I'm going to do from start to finish. I'm going to try to do, how to do Amazon from start to finish. I'm working on a few different things. I'm really busy, got a ton of stuff going on, but coming off a killer month and just excited about the future. Rocking my Superman shirt today. It wasn't by design. I just didn't have any other shirts. And this is for my daughter's, one of my daughter's superhero parties. So, yeah. So anyway, I'll start off just by talking about some of the things on Amazon I've been dealing with lately. It's been kind of wild. The more you sell, the more feedback you get, the more problems you get with that, and the more people you get complaining about certain things, and that's all part of the game. I mean, it's a blessing. I do get some things from people that are upset over certain things that are happening with the product, or they're not getting their stuff on time, even though I don't control that end of it. But this is stuff you're gonna have to learn how to deal with. You're gonna have to respond to customers. You're gonna have to do customer service, and I've done that for years. I had 10 years of customer service experience working in call centers and everything else, so I'm okay with doing that. It can be stressful, especially when you can kind of take it personal when it's your own service or product, but I always try to give great service where I can, even though it's not your fault like most of the time. Just got to eat it and bite your tongue and just do it. That's part of the game. So if you're going to sell on e-commerce or Amazon, you got to be prepared to do that. You got to be prepared to give refunds when you don't, even though it's not right, but there's going to always be unreasonable people out there. And there's going to be people that have valid issues, too, that you have to take care of. So just something to consider, as you grow your business. A lot of things going on with the business. I talked about hiring an assistant to help with wholesale sourcing and probably some other projects that we have to do. Discussed, attorneys, have one ready to go if you need one. There's a really great service, Amazon Seller Basics. It's their e-commerce attorneys, Jeff and Paul. I think it's Raffleson. I hope I'm not butchering his name. And Jeff Schick. They have a Facebook group. Really great attorneys. They've been helping me out with some stuff and helped me out with my ASIN issue earlier. But they have a lot of great discounts, and they're really excellent. If you guys need to, if you're growing to the point where you feel like you're going to need that, it's $99 a month. I'll leave the link below, and you can actually sign up for them, and you can get like huge discounts if you ever have an issue, with Amazon. And if you're going to be a big-time seller on Amazon, or even a small-time seller that, can afford that, I would recommend it, because if an issue comes up, you're going to pay a lot more. So, just a lot going on. I'm really pushing towards hopefully being able to do this full-time very soon, within the next couple months, I'm hoping. I'm not going to jump the gun. I want to see what my financial situation looks like and what the tax situation looks like. I have to sit down with my accountant. There's a lot to it. I mean, the more you sell, the more complicated things get. And again, it's a blessing. I'm not complaining, but there's a lot more that comes with it. It becomes more of a full-time job in some respects, because, you have to figure out the books, the taxes. You have to figure out the lawyers. If you have issues with that, you have to figure out, how to get around certain Amazon issues. Product liability insurance. There's a lot of things to think about to protect the business. So I want you all to think about that too as you move forward. If you're successful, think about, do you want to be an LLC? Do you want to be an S Corp? What are the benefits and negatives of that? I'm not an accountant or a lawyer, so I really can't answer that, but I've talked to them about that, and I can tell you the implications of an S Corp versus an LLC. I think you have to potentially pay yourself a salary as an S Corp. It can get really confusing, so make sure you have a good accountant that can kind of explain that, or a good lawyer, or both, because some of those issues kind of intertwine and sometimes they don't. So you need to have good information. So I'll leave a link for the lawyers I've used in the past, really good, and they have that service I highly recommend it if you can afford to pay the $99 a month. It doesn't give you necessarily free stuff. They will do some free stuff, but if you have an account suspension or something, you know, it'll be a lot cheaper. You're talking like a third of the cost sometimes, if you know. So it's something to consider. Anyway, guys, let's get into it. I want to get into, you know, I'm going to start from the beginning. Once I get my whiteboard from Amazon, I'm going to start showing you guys from the start, all the way from the beginning to the end, a whole entire Amazon course on how to sell. So I just want to do a little product research today. Hopefully you guys can follow along with me, and we'll check it out. We'll see what we got going on. So I'm going to do some unorthodox kind of ways of doing some product research today. I've just been kind of looking at sellers a lot lately. You can absolutely use, you know, Jungle Scout, which I highly recommend. Let's see. Let's log in. All right. So Jungle Scout's really a great tool. I really love Opportunity Finder. I was using this yesterday. I think I was finding some really good stuff. I was looking for bigger items. One of the cool things I did find was wall. Wait a minute. Door mirror, I think. The numbers on this look really good, and here's some of the cool things. It's almost like they have an organizer in these. So if you're looking for a bigger item, something that like I sell a bit of a bigger item. And what do I mean by bigger item? I'm talking 5, 6, 7 pounds or bigger even. Sometimes pretty much anything that's an oversized item. Now, you're going to need more money to do something like that, but I think the great part about selling an oversized item is that the competition is much lower, because most people are told get a small item, you know, something you don't have to spend a lot on shipping and you can do cheaply. Absolutely. If you're just starting out, you don't have a lot of money, great move. But if you really want to cut through a lot of the competition, it may be, I've always said in the past, don't sell stuff that can break easily, but they can probably pack this stuff really well. It makes it even more, I guess, more value, I guess, less competition. Because a lot of people are afraid to do stuff like this. So let's just check this out real quick. Check out the numbers. Again, what I looked for door mirror. Basically, mirrors that hang on the back of the door. But they've taken it to a new level. If you can see this one, it's a jewelry cabinet, jewelry armoire. You know, some have locks on them. That you can really find some cool ways to differentiate this stuff. But it's going to be extremely expensive potentially to buy these. But you can make a lot on each sale. So you have to consider that. It says medium demand, medium competition. Like yesterday when I looked it up, it was like a 7, I think. It was like high demand, medium competition. So this changes daily. But you can look at this market. You can do decent. I mean, if you only sold 10 a day, 9 a day, you could honestly make $100 a day, because your margins are going to be really good on this. So, you know, the potential is there. Just have to find a way to differentiate yours. But another thing you really got to look at is the size of these. So if we go over here, look at the weight on some of these things. This one's $103. The fees on this are going to be really high. They're saying they're netting $70. So let's pay, they say they pay after shipping probably $40. They might net $30 a sale. They're doing 27 daily sales. Just add that up. I mean, that's significant. So you can see real quick on how on a big item you can make a good amount of money. Now, the cost of entry is going to be a lot higher, because you're going to have to pay for shipping, and you're going to have to pay potentially more for the item. But some of these items, they're not astronomically high. The buy, it's really the shipping that's going to kill you. With that kind of shipping weight, you know, with my freight forwarder, I'm shipping an item that's like, oh man, it's almost like between 9 and 10 pounds right now. So this is even obviously more. Here's one that's like 10 pounds. But the shipping per unit is like anywhere between $5 and $7, depending on where you have to ship it, a unit. So you're talking $5 or $7 to ship for this, for example. Let's just take this one. So 25 pounds. Wow. That's really big. But that's on the higher end too. So anyway, let's check out reviews. So this has a ton of reviews. Like, this is your typical hanging mirror, and you can see they've been around for a while. They have 1,900 reviews. But if we look here, 92 is not a super, not a ton. 11 is not a ton. 89 is not a ton. 10, 11, 90, or excuse me, 59. So, typically we would say like 7 of them be low reviews. But honestly, you could compete in this market. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of like the top 12, 5. You could compete because look, there's 3 right here that have low reviews too. You could compete in this market. You really could. But it would cost more. But this is the type of stuff I'm talking about where I think there's huge opportunity. Simply because of the size. People don't want to deal with that. Because there's 2 things that will happen here. Number 1, you potentially pay more for the item. But not necessarily. But you may pay $30 for one of these. On top of that, the shipping we talked about. If I'm paying $6, let's say, for a 10-pound item, then you can expect to pay $12, $15 or so for this much, for this type of item. So, but when you're selling it for 103, and if you're selling 27 of them, and your fees are $32, you can make a good chunk of change on each one. So they're saying they're netting 70. If you're spending, what did I say? 7, 14. If you're spending 12, let's just say $15 to $16, and then 30 for the item. So let's say $46, and so you might be netting 24, $25 a sale. That's pretty good. 27 sales a day. That's amazing. So you really can do well with a bigger item. Is it riskier in some ways? Yeah. You are spending more, but the potential is there. The potential is much higher, I feel like. So, and the competition is going to be lower because a lot of people simply don't have the money or aren't willing to risk it. But you can even start off with 200 or 300 units. So this one is really specialized. I really like the presentation of it. The reviews are excellent. Out of 449 reviews, they've got 4.7. That's really good. That's really excellent. It looks like a really nice pictures. It doesn't really look huge though, does it? Like when you look at it there, it's 42 by 14. So you're also going to pay an oversized fee for this. So I think I'd have to look it up, but it's anything over like 18 inches, I think, on one end, and over a certain size. This is definitely an oversized item, and you pay additional fees. Another thing that kills you too on shipping, where I like to use a freight forwarder that saves me money, is when you usually get an oversized item, in my experience, they make you ship to like 3 different warehouses. If it's a smaller item, they'll make you ship it to Texas. But if it's an oversized item, a lot of times they'll want you to ship it all across the country. Why? My guess is because Amazon saves a ton of money by you shipping it everywhere across the country rather than you ship it to Texas and they ship it everywhere. So they make you pay that. Now there is an option under Amazon to make it so you can ship everything to one spot. But for oversized items, it's ridiculously expensive. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that either. You're better off biting a bullet, in my experience, and shipping it to multiple warehouses. Freight forwarder can save you some money if you find a good one. But yeah, so this has really high potential. They're probably making a nice chunk of change off of this. Makes me want to kind of look and see, who's selling this, and maybe we can even see what other things they might sell. So they have a couple different mirrors they sell, very similar, and this one has much less reviews. Let's see how this one's doing. Really good reviews though. You can see it's well made because it gets excellent reviews. So 29 a day and 27. So this is under the same listing, but 2 different options. They might be different sizes. I haven't really looked at the details, but yeah, wow, right? Like that could really make you a good chunk of change right there. That could literally give you enough money to quit your job right there. This one product could do enough to make you quit your job. And they sell a lot of different mirrors. You can see they sell this standing one too. Very similar setup that opens up. Really like the concept. Clearly they started doing it a while ago. They've had a ton of sales. So let's see, 17 sales a day. So they're making probably a couple $100,000 a year off of these 3 items. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're triple figures with these items. So pretty amazing. That just shows you how one item that's oversized can change your entire life. That's a good example. So you guys can use that, but again, it is very expensive. I mean, you can see monthly revenue. They're pulling down maybe 20, 30 grand a month on that. So just consider that, guys. That's something that can really make a big difference. So yeah, this could really change. Again, this could make you a ton of money every year. So that's something to think about. So let's go to Alibaba and let's just look for door mirror. So, oops. Door mirror. Now, some of these might be custom, but you could, I mean, this is your basic one, right? Like, this is the one. So you don't want to do this. There's nothing to this. It's a very basic mirror. You're not going to be able to break through with that. There was one on here already that did like all the sales right here. That's just your basic mirror. It would be very hard to compete with that, but they're actually doing okay with 11 sales. I'm kind of surprised. I wonder if they have anything else. They might just have really good pictures, but there's really nothing else to that. They do give really good infographics if you look at that. But there's not much to it, They have the shatterproof glass, other non-shatterproof. So that's a nice benefit there. But so think about that. That's going to be hard to compete in. I like the armoire idea where it gives you multiple things. So that's what you want to kind of look for. Look to customize something. Would it be expensive per unit? Yes. But again, that could make you enough income to quit your job right there. It can make you 100 grand a year. That's no joke. So look for somebody that can customize. Even if you can't find it just looking through here, like you can click on this and then you can talk to them, contact the supplier and see if they can customize something for you. It doesn't have to be pre-made. Sometimes, they'll customize it for you. So it's just something to consider, guys. There's a ton of options there. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. My family's here, so it's tough to talk. But so yeah, that's kind of my thing for the day. That's one of the things I ran across. Like let's see. See how this is an armoire type of deal? Okay, you can put other things in there. 20 to 50 bucks. Let's say you could get it for 30, but if you wanted to customize it, you could sell it for 80, 90, 100 bucks. You can make 20 some dollars a sale, 30 bucks a sale on this, and you could do really well. You sell 5 a day, you're making 150 bucks a day. It's a lot of money. So you wouldn't have to restock as much. You can see if you get really good pictures that have all that stuff in there, that's excellent. So you'd want to hire, a really good photographer, and you could do really well with this, guys. So that's kind of the thing I'm going to talk about today. Think about bigger items. Consider bigger items if you have the income, but you can start off with as little as 200, 250 units, even though they say the minimum order quantity would be like 300, but sometimes you can negotiate them down as a test order, and that one item can do great for you. So I want you guys to think about that. Think about bigger items. It doesn't have to be a big mirror, but that is something I think right now you could break into this and do really well. A lot of people aren't thinking that way. You have to go against the crowd, and you have to think differently. So like and subscribe, guys. I'd really appreciate that. If you guys have any questions or anything you want me to cover, I'd be happy to. And I'll leave a link in the description for the lawyers I use, and also for Jungle Scout. If you guys want to get a discount, you can check that out, guys. All right. Have a good day, and God bless, guys.